season 8 of The Walking Dead. So this season, oh man, this was the season where I was thinking like, am I gonna quit the show because Jesus, the writing got really bad here. I was like, man, I might quit the show myself. I know it's my favorite show of all time, but when it's getting bad, I have to leave. Yeah, it was sad to say that as well. To like for the first time ever, I was having doubts, of this show, because this season, like when it comes to the action, I guess you could say that's the best thing about it. But then when it comes to the story, oh my god, it's terrible. It's really bad. Should I say it's really bad though? I mean, it definitely goes to like season 3 level of bad, and killing off the one characters and stuff. So obviously, I'm going to talk about spoilers for season 8. Yeah, like for example, Carl killing off Carl here. Like it made no sense. Where in the comic he lived until the very end. It was actually his father who died. Rick. He's the one who died at the end of the comic, but his son lived to then spread his legacy and what the group did and how they got to where they did, and helps bring back the world. Here it's just, man, they kill Carl. Like who's gonna continue his legacy? I guess you could say Judith, but man, when I was watching here, I was just like, what the hell are they doing? What are they gonna do without Carl? Like, man, that was a weird choice. Which I'll talk more about that. And then just I don't know. You just felt like a lot of people didn't want to be in the show at this point. Like Morgan, is it like halfway through or something? No, it's at the end where he decides to leave anyway. The actor, Jeffrey... No, not... Oh, I always get... Lenny James, yeah. I don't know, I get mixed up with Jeffrey D. Morgan and Lenny James, because that's Negan, and then that's Morgan, yeah. Because he wanted to leave, and he basically heads off to Fear the Walking Dead, like its 4th season, basically. And to be honest, like, I probably wouldn't have gone back to Fear if Morgan didn't go in, so in a way it was kind of a good thing, but then it was also kind of a bad thing because he kind of takes over the whole show of Fear the Walking Dead. To me, he should have got his own show or something. Yeah, but I don't regret some of the stuff we got to see from Morgan in Fear, but man, him taking over the whole show, and then Alicia just, she should have been the main character with what happens in that season, but we'll get to that if I ever decide to review all the seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, since it's getting to a point where that's going to come to an end, so I'll probably do it. But yeah, I guess we'll just talk about how things start off. Like basically, they're at war at this point. Like they're all fighting each other. We've got characters who are like just so bloodthirsty at this point. I mean, Rick doesn't get to that point until like halfway through the season when Carl dies, and he just blames Negan for that, and he just goes bloodthirsty. Because basically, you see Daryl, you see, I think Daryl's like that because of Denise. Same with Tara, like, her girlfriend died, so they're just so bloodthirsty. Like, you don't normally see him this bloodthirsty, like, especially Daryl. Like, he just kills people who are surrendering. Like, he doesn't care, he just kills them. Like, it even gets to a point where, I'll get to that, but let's just talk about Morgan first. Because Jesus and Morgan are basically teaming up to take down some saviors. Jesus wants to spare some of them, but Morgan doesn't care. He's like he's in clear mode, but not like clear mode where he'll kill anyone around him, like including his friends. But he's just destroying these saviors. Like he's acting like he's in some special ops thing, like going in vents and then just coming down and then taking them out. It's crazy seeing that kind of Morgan, because we didn't really get to fully see it, but I guess that's kind of the stuff he was doing when he was in clear mode, but attacking anyone, yeah. And yeah, Tara, she's not holding back too, man. She's willing to kill anyone. Even when she gets a hostage of some of them, like, she's doing like that gun finger thing, where she just wants to kill them, man. It's just weird seeing Tara like that, though. That's when I was like, oh man, what are they doing with these characters, man? We're making them nothing like how they used to be, but I know it's war and stuff, and they've lost people, but Jesus, you're going that far? Man. Because, I wonder... It's like if Maggie died and Glenn was still alive, because he lost his child as well, so there's no way I'd see Glenn still being like the heart of the show. He'd go full dark, losing Maggie and the baby. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I could talk about a character who we get to see again from season 1, which for the longest time, let me just get to the image first, because oh my god, I can't believe it actually happened, because it used to be a whole meme about this character, but yeah, for the longest time, yeah. Morales, yeah. This was a meme for so many years when I was watching Trevscan 2, when people just kept saying that Morales is going to come back, and just all the jokes I've heard about Morales, and then he actually comes back for at least one episode. We see him at the end of episode 2, like Rick runs into him because Rick basically is clearing out this area. Then he realizes that he actually kills some little girl's father because this person was trying to kill Rick. So then he basically, I guess, looks after the girl, well, takes her, but then gives it to Aaron later on because basically Aaron ends up, losing Eric because there's like a gunfight that they have where they're trying to fight the saviors, but they eventually get to a point where they accidentally are shooting at each other, and basically Aaron basically kills Eric by mistake because of how crazy it was, all the saviors shooting at him, and then he accidentally shoots Eric. Yeah, he probably doesn't realize at first after all the saviors are dead, but then seeing Eric dead, yeah, he still blames the saviors for what happened, but yeah, but then like, just so he doesn't go like a dark path, like he has Grace to look after, the girl that they find, because Rick basically kills her father. So, and I just wonder if Aaron or Rick ever told her that Rick killed her father. I don't know if they ever did because we never had a scene like that. Yeah, like the whole story. I mean, at this point, at the point where she's older, like Rick's already long gone. So I feel like like he could have told Grace anyway. Yeah. But yeah, with Morales, let's get to that. Yeah, because we see Morales again, but he's kind of like with the Saviors now, which is just weird to see. Because basically, after he left the group in was it episode 4 or 5? I can't remember. When everyone dies in the camp. Well, a lot of people die in the camp, like Andrea's sister, just Carol's terrible husband. Yeah, just a lot of characters died in that scene, and from there, Morales wanted to leave and with his family and find some kind of safe haven. Yeah, and then let's just say things don't really work out. He ends up losing his family, but then the saviors find him. He becomes one of the saviors because he didn't have a reason to live after he lost his family. But then the saviors gave him that, so he was just like loyal to the saviors. And even when he finds out about Rick and them, it's not like he's gonna, I'll join you guys now. Like he's a full savior because they gave him like a reason to live. So, and then he's just basically giving a recap of everything that's happened. And then it gets to a point where Daryl comes, and he doesn't even care. Like Daryl just literally just kills him just like that. Like he just shoots him and that's it. And Rick's just like, didn't you know who that was? And he don't care. And then straight afterwards, he just kills some kid who surrenders. Because he's a savior, like probably forced to be a savior, and then he just gets killed by Daryl. He doesn't care, man. He's just like on some kind of wrath right now, like a lot of the characters are. And Rick gets to that point when Carl dies as well. So yeah, when you lose a loved one, you lose yourself, I guess. Yeah, you lose people, you lose yourself. That's one of Morgan's quotes. Yeah, and that's basically what happens. Yeah, with all the characters. With what the saviors have done, like all the people they've killed, yeah. I guess we can talk about Carl now. Probably the biggest mistake in the entire season, and from Scott Gimple, like for someone who made season 6, it just sucks that he made seasons 7 and 8. I just feel like they should have got different directors for those 2 seasons, and it could have turned out better. But yeah, he made a huge mistake killing Carl, man. Yeah, why would you kill Carl? Like he was the future of the show. He could have carried it forward. But they decided to kill him. I mean, we've got to a point where Judith, becomes like the Carl that we've always wanted. But it still sucks that they killed Carl anyway. We could have still had both of them, really. I mean, that Chandler Riggs said he didn't even want to leave as well, but Scott Gimple basically fired him on his birthday, which is just so messed up when he turned 18. Yeah, that's just so messed up. You fire him on his birthday. I mean, and the guy's gonna be leaving to another show anyway, so. Carl's death wasn't necessary. They tried to do some bullshit where basically you meet this character called Sadiq, and Carl basically saves him and finds out he's a doctor and stuff, and then Carl ends up getting bit. I mean, we don't know that he gets bit until like I guess the end of the first half, but from there a lot of people are spectating like, did Carl get bit? Because he has like a worried face, but then it becomes calm again because Carl's going for like some moral compass thing. Like, because he kind of regrets a lot of the things that he's done, like when he killed that kid when he was younger, I think that was like the prison times. Yeah, he just killed him without even thinking. Like he might have actually not wanted to fight, and he wouldn't have tried to hurt anyone, but Cal just shot him. Yeah, and I guess he feels guilty about that and many other things. So at the end, he's just trying to do the right things, I guess, and saving Sadiq. Even though I don't even know if he knew he was a doctor at that moment, I can't remember. He just wanted to do something good before I guess he died. Yeah, because every time you have a moral compass, like certain characters become too good, they always end up dying. It's always happened, man. Yeah, and it kind of sucks when they do that because it's kind of obvious that, oh yeah, this character's gonna die. Yeah, it happens every time. Yeah, like Bob was probably the first time where I was like, yeah, he's dead because he's acting like too not himself. Like he's acting too, carefree because he knows it's time. Like he's gonna die. Yeah, same with Herschel. He became too good, and then he ends up dying. And Tyrese the same. Yeah, because he was a bit more ruthless at the beginning, but then by the end he just became like a baby, a little kid, not wanting to hurt anyone. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks they killed off Cal, and just seeing Wick, talking to his son at his last moments, everyone just crying. Daryl, I don't even know what he's thinking because you don't really see much of a reaction from him, but inside he's probably like, damn. Just damn. I mean, he just wants to kill all these saviors at this point, but then when he sees Cal, man, it just sucks. Because before then, I guess Negan decides to bomb Alexandria with grenades. The same thing happens in the comic, and Cal's the only one who's there who's kind of leading them to safety. And yeah, he ends up leading everyone to safety. So in his last moments, he basically saves like a stranger who becomes useful for the future because he's a doctor. Because they lost their doctor Denise. Like she was a doctor, but they lost her, so they didn't really have anyone to look after him. So I guess Cal at least found him, and then he also saved the people at Alexandria, took them to the sewers. And yeah, he spent his last moments in the sewer, man. That's just damn. I think they eventually got him to like a house anyway in Alexandria before he died. But yeah, just seeing those last words with Wick and Cal saying that that his mum said that he was supposed to survive this world, but then Cal says you will to Wick, and it's just like, damn, he wasn't supposed to die, man. Like why did they do this? It's just not right. And then seeing Judith as well, I mean, she's only young, she doesn't fully understand what's happening, and you just see her crying, man. Like, man, this shouldn't have happened, man. I know, it just sucks. Yeah. And after then, like, Wick just wants to kill the saviors. He wants to kill Negan because he knows that Negan tried to bomb the place as well. So even there's a chance that maybe Negan could have killed him too. Anyway, yeah, he just wants to kill Negan at that point. And when it gets to episode 12, oh my god, that episode's crazy. When he's trying to kill Negan, he's just chasing him like all around because the first fight was also in Alexandria. That's the first time we get to see him fight. And I feel like, did Negan basically win that fight? The second time, Negan was nearly dead, man. Like, Wick wasn't messing around because he just lost his son. Like, he doesn't care at this point. And Negan's making jokes like, I'm a goddamn cat and stuff. Because it gets to a point where he falls down. Because they end up in this place with full of walkers. And I guess Negan survives like a fall. And then, he's just chasing him through the whole place. And then it gets to a point where Wick basically gets Lucille, sets it on fire, and tries to, kill Negan with it. Like, that's just like some of the best stuff I've seen from The Walking Dead, man. Oh my god. I have to say that episode, probably my favourite episode from this season. Yeah. It was just so much fun. I used to rewatch it so many times. I loved that episode, man. That was just so much fun. When it came to just like two people just having like a big fight, like that's probably like one of my favorites, like top 3, because there's Shane and Wick, in 18 Miles Out, and then there's like an episode with Simon, which I'm gonna get to, and Negan fighting for leadership, and there's this episode, man, because you get to see Negan and Wick fight 3 times in this season, since it's like the big final battle or war with these saviors and all the other groups and Alexandria. And I said the second fight is probably the best. The third one, like, I feel like by the time we get to the end of the season, you can just tell that they're all burned out. Like, they used a lot of their action throughout the season, but when you get to the end, it's just like pretty basic. It's not even like No Way Out level of epic. It's just it's pretty basic, yeah. Because basically, Eugene, he ends up becoming like a high up in the Saviors, like even to the point where Dwight is looked down on, and many other characters. Simon, like, he's just becoming a loose cannon. Like, he ends up killing like that garbage lady's people, and then she decides to turn against the Saviors because she basically betrayed Rick in season 7. So in season 8, she kind of gets karma and she loses her people. Yeah. Yeah, they end up all getting killed, and I think it gets to a point where, because basically Rick sees like a helicopter, that's very strange because the last time we heard a helicopter in The Walking Dead was like season 2 that actually made the walkers come to like the farm in beside the dying fire, and then Rick actually sees it this time, and he's just like, he tries to tell that to people but they don't believe him, and then it actually happens again like years later after they've fought the Saviors and stuff, and yeah, the stuff with what's gonna happen with Rick in season 9, which I'll get to. Yeah, all that happens. He just didn't really believe it, but then did we see that same helicopter actually come into like Jada, because Jada actually knows the people in that helicopter. So why is she living this life unless like she's someone who helps them find people to take or something? I mean, I never got like a full explanation of how these people in the helicopter work, and they're not really the same as the Commonwealth. They seem like different. And I never watched The Walking Dead World Beyond season 2 because season 1 was so bad. I tried to review it on my original channel, but it was too bad, man. So I never got a full explanation on that situation. Because they probably fully explain it and possibly where Rick is in season 2, but it's just season 1 is just so bad and boring. Oh, maybe I'll eventually fully watch it all, but man, since the movie's not even happening, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be in TV form now with Michonne finding Rick and stuff. Like, I wanted that on like the big screen. That would have been so cool to watch The Walking Dead on the big screen. But now we haven't got that, man. It just sucks. Hope one day we can get like a Walking Dead movie. But for now, I guess we're just gonna have to see the rest of the story be continued on the small screen. Yeah, which is okay. At least we're still gonna get to see some kind of ending with Rick and Michonne, and hopefully he gets back to his kids. Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, let's because basically, Negan ends up escaping when Rick tries to kill him, and then he gets to a point where Simon's trying to betray Negan and take full control because he just feels like they're losing because Negan's not going full all out on them. Yeah. So Dwight and Simon are trying to work together to take him out, but then Dwight is actually working with Rick and them to take down Negan because he feels so much regret with what he's done. All the things he's done, like Sherry leaving because of it, because he became such a bad man. So he's just trying to do the right thing at the end, and I guess we'll just get to it then. Yeah, Simon versus Negan. So basically, Simon's plan is to take down Negan, but I think Dwight actually betrays Simon to the point where he has to fight Negan at this point because Simon was trying to do it in a sneaky way where he'd kill Negan without him suspecting it. But then Dwight basically betrays him. He betrays Simon. So then it gets to a point where they have to fight. But then, Negan's basically the better fighter. It seems at first like Simon's like wrecking Negan. But then he gets to a point where he gets the upper hand and he just chokes him out. And then after he's killed him, he just puts him outside as a warning to people who betray him. Like, oh my god, that was just epic. So this is also one of the best fights. So yeah, when it comes to like certain things like action, like, I'd definitely say they do a really good job, but it's just the story could have been a lot better. Even the comic did it better, man. Like, damn, they really messed up here, just like with season 3, man. Yeah, it was a good fight, but man, and the way how it ends is pretty cool. And it was kind of sad to see Simon go, man. Like, he was such a good character, man. He's really enjoyable, but if he stayed, like, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, they probably still would have all died anyway, or got defeated, because Eugene is actually trying to do the right thing, because Basically, I forgot to mention a character that I'm not sure if I talked much about Sasha in the last season, but basically, she gets captured by the Saviors, and I think she ends up getting infected. I can't remember how, but no, she doesn't get infected. Basically, she wants to die because she's going to be used to, like do something bad to her friends. So basically, Eugene helps her kill herself. So then when she dies, she becomes a walker, and she only like bites Negan, but then yeah, then Maggie has to put her down because Sasha actually helped out Maggie when she was at her weakest back in season 7, episode 5, because she was there when Simon was looking for her, and she helped hide her as well. Yeah. So yeah, it was sad to see Sasha go because she basically loved like 2 loved ones, and at that point she didn't really care about anything, but she at least protected Maggie and decided to do the right thing in the end, even though it was a bit sad. Yeah. So he ends up killing like a few saviors as a walker though, which is cool. Yeah. To the point where she nearly gets Negan, but yeah. So basically, Eugene, with some of the last things Sasha said to Eugene, like, I feel like that's what makes him decide to do the right thing in season 8. So it basically gets to a point where it seems like, all of our groups and stuff are outgunned by the saviors, but Eugene basically does something where he kind of messes with the bullets. So when it gets to a point where they're gonna take out everyone, they can't really do anything. So that's when the rest of the saviors who surrender, decide to surrender anyway, and the rest just get killed. Yeah. And then yeah, because they don't really have no chance at that point anyway. They've basically lost. And yeah, it gets to a point where I guess Negan and Wick are having like a final fight. It's pretty lame. It's not that great. It's pretty fast, and it seems like Negan's actually going to win this fight again, like in the first fight. You could say the first fight was like a draw. The second fight, Wick won, but Negan retreated. And then the third fight, basically Negan was winning, but then he kind of used like the power of plot armor to save himself, because they tried to do something where basically it would make more sense for how I guess this storyline ends compared to the comic, but then when you think about it, it didn't really matter because at the end of the day the story was better in the comic. So what Scott Gimple tried to say is that killing Carl made Negan surrendering and not killing Rick make more sense. I guess that's probably the only flaw in the comic version of this storyline. That makes no sense with him actually not wanting to kill Wick and actually listening to what he's saying. Because basically Negan actually had like a strong relationship with Carl, and when he found out that he died, he actually broke him, yeah. So he kind of uses that at the end to basically, stop Negan from killing Wick. And you can see that he's actually sad about it, like he's actually going to cry. But then like in that moment, just in case Negan tries to do something, I guess Wick just slits his throat. But then like I guess Wick still saves him though. Maggie, when she finds out, she just wants Negan dead, because Negan killed Glenn, so she just wanted him dead. So going into season 9, let's just say Maggie's not going to be happy with Wick. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, because basically Negan gets locked up after all this. Yeah, for a couple of years. And that's pretty much how the season ends. Morgan, he decides to leave. Wick tries to convince him to stay, but no, he just wants to leave. I mean, you actually get to see some of the Walking Dead characters in Fear the Walking Dead trying to convince him to stay, but he just wants to leave and do his own thing, because he just feels like he became too much of a monster again, and he's just trying to find himself again. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this season. I'm trying to think if I didn't miss anything. If I did, then oh well. I just want to get through these seasons quick because we're on the week of the final season now. I mean, the final episode of the final season, yeah. Like, so coming to an end now. So I've got one more full review to do, season 9. I've already reviewed most of season 10. It's just like season 10A that I can just do a recap on. It'll probably like take 5-10 minutes. But yeah, if you want to see the rest of the season 10 review, then I'll just do it in like a playlist anyway. I'll just add all of these together so you can just follow it better. Yeah. After I've made my season 10A video. which will be very brief. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. I guess it's coming to an end now, the whole entire series. So I'm sorry I was able to review all of it. But yeah, guys, appreciate if you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.